So now we will discuss gender differences and the Big Five in a study of the young. So first, neuroticism. Women score higher than men in neuroticism in both aspects, withdrawal and volatility. But when removing correlation, the gender difference remains for withdrawal but is eliminated for volatility. Women have higher levels of anxiety, depression, self-consciousness, and vulnerability. This is consistent with the fact that clinical diagnoses of depression and anxiety are considerably more common in women than in men. There is a lack of significant gender difference in volatility when controlling for withdrawal. It is more likely to be due to the fact that an important component of volatility is the tendency to be irritable and easily angered. Men have sometimes been found to score higher than women on traits such as anger and hostility. Now for agreeableness. There is significant gender difference in agreeableness, such that women tend to score higher than men in this domain. And this pattern was the same for the aspect of compassion and politeness when measured in terms of raw scores and of residual scores. Compassion represents a tendency to invest in others emotionally and affiliate on an emotional level, encompassing traits such as warmth and empathy. Politeness describes the tendency to show respect to others and refrain from taking advantage of them, and it is related to traits such as cooperation and compliance. The findings of the study are that women score higher than men on both aspects, and this is consistent with previous research showing women are more trusting and compliant than men. Gender differences are related in self-control. Men tend to have an independent self-control or sense of self separate from cognitive representations for others. Women have a more interdependent self-control in which their sense of self includes others. This gender difference is associated with motivational and behavioral differences, such as women having more interconnected and affiliative social groups, such as women having more. Now, for conscientiousness, when measuring the aspect of industriousness and orderliness in terms of raw scores, it is found a significant gender difference for orderliness, such that women score higher than men. However, when orderliness is regressed on neuroticism and gender remains a significant predictor, indicating that gender difference in orderliness is not simply due to difference in neuroticism. This gender difference is such that men score higher than women in industriousness. This difference in a residual score but not in raw score, can be interpreted as follows. If one examines a group of people with equal levels of orderliness, the men in that group will on average score higher in industriousness than the women. Now for extroversion. Enthusiasm reflects sociability, gregariousness, and experience of positive emotions. Our finding is that women score higher than men in enthusiasm, and it was consistent with previous research showing similar patterns in different facets of gregariousness and positive emotions. Assertiveness reflects traits related to agency and dominance. It is consistent with previous research showing gender difference favoring men for facets such as assertiveness and excitement seeking, and it is found that men score higher than women in assertiveness. Now, openness intellect. There are significant gender differences in both aspects of the Big Five domain, intellect and openness. Women score higher than men in openness, men score higher than women in intellect.